Okay, it is day 30 and I've got tea. But I have to say one thing before I go into the rest of the video. I'm gonna go back from the start before you literally see everything I'm about to share taking place in real time. It's not about an article of clothing. This video, which was supposed to be just like a fun experiment, has reminded me of a very important life-altering truth as a woman that I want to share, and that is what this video ends up being about. How life-changing it is when you see a woman soften and expand. Her marriage, her quality of life, how she parents, how it literally changes everything, how it changes how we can approach trials. Because hilariously, the month I did this experiment has been a doozy. So, without further ado, we're gonna get into it. 30-day dress experiment. Did not expect what I'm about to share. June 1st, here we go. We're doing the dress experiment. I'm in a season of what is going on, and I came across this thing called the dress experiment. Basically, you wear a dress every day for 30 days. Why am I doing this right now? A couple reasons. As you know, we moved across the country. We're literally finding a place to live. As of filming this at the first day of the challenge right now, we're looking for rentals. We're in a short-term rental for the next month and a half. And so I'm straddling this feeling of, it's so tempting in seasons like this where there's so much transition to not enjoy your everyday. I just felt like this would be something that would be like a physical reminder to romanticize my everyday. The other thing is I'm kind of pretty pregnant right now, and there's not even that much stuff that's fitting. So I feel like just logistically, it's a great time to do it, because I think that there's also a temptation in pregnancy, especially when your belly gets really big, kind of like lament over your body, and you lament over the changes that are happening. And personally, I don't want to do that. Purposely choosing to get dressed in things that make you feel beautiful and that tell yourself, like, I'm getting dressed for the day. It's almost like this feedback loop that says my body is worth caring for. So logistically, I will wear a dress every single day for 30 days. The only time I will not be wearing a dress and I'll wear workout clothes is when I'm working out and sweaty, or I'm going on like long sweaty walks. And I say sweaty because it's the East Coast in the summer. It's gonna be sweaty. Day 1. I'll talk to you guys soon and keep you updated. Day 7. Real quick, there are 2 big things I've noticed. Hands down, less sweaty undercarriage. It's easy to get dressed. It's one piece. It's super simple. Number 2, my husband's loving it. So is my daughter, actually. The amount of times I've walked out and my husband's like been in the middle of something, and then he's like been talking and stopped him and been like, whoa, hi. And my husband's very affectionate, and he tells me all the time how beautiful I am. I don't lack like words of affirmation from him. It's so sweet though to see like the joy of his face seeing me in a dress. There's something very sweet about putting on a dress and coming out and seeing my daughter and my husband like, hi. All right, there's something about this challenge that has been very interesting to me. What has happened over the last couple weeks is there's been a lot. We're actually moving out of our rental sooner than planned, and there have been, as there are during massive transitions, just things that come up that we have to deal with that can be stressful. And I've noticed that when I take the little bit of time to put on a dress, maybe put on some earrings, just do something that makes me feel more soft, like I'm caring for myself in that way, it feels a little bit like a breath that I can go through a more chaotic environment, but that I feel more like stable. Like I can still be a stable presence amidst chaos. Like a cue, a physical cue to soften, a physical cue to be in my body, a physical cue to carry myself differently. I feel a little bit more like, we can handle this. It's very queenly. I don't know. It's very odd. I hope that you can kind of track with what I'm talking about. All right, I don't know. And I'm finally gonna wash my hair. I have a hair journey. I had curly hair for years, curly wavy hair. When I got pregnant with my first, the waves said bye-bye, and I got straight hair and had straight hair until the last couple months. They're back like Voldemort. They're back. We're so excited. My mom was a hairstylist. The one thing she always told me though was that if you have a good quality shampoo and conditioner, you don't need a lot of hair products. I'm very minimal with my hair products. I've been using Kitsch. They make shampoo conditioner bars, and I've been using their rice protein one. It's like a cult following product. Totally a convert now. I've been using them for over a month, and I'm gonna show you how it takes 6 days in my ocean hair. So let's shower, let's get ready, let's put on a dress. Okay, so I let it air dry. We were out running errands, and this is what it looks like air dried. The only thing that I used in my hair was the Kitsch Rice Water Shampoo and Conditioner Bar. That's it. It's crazy how soft it is, especially as someone that bleached her hair last year. Swims in the ocean like 5 times a week. It's pretty incredible. I use rice water because it's helpful for like hair growth, balancing the scalp, softness, shine, and repairing dead ends and broken hair. And bonus, super affordable. Way more affordable than other non-toxic shampoo and conditioner brands I've tried. With my discount, a bar's $11 and both of them end up being 21 bucks. They ship in the US and internationally to 90 different countries. And they also have a subscription plan for an even better discount. They're also formulated without parabens, sulfates, phthalates, silicones. If you're interested, you want to check them out, use the link in my description or the QR code and you can get 25% off your order. Thank you, kids, for sponsoring today's video. We're gonna go do more stuff in a dress. Okay, I have some tea. I have some thoughts to share. That's why I have notes to reference. There is something really beautiful that happens when a woman leans into playful energy and softens, especially towards like the romantic interplay between my husband and I and what I've been really processing and observing. Because the other day we had got home from the beach and I was still in my beach clothes, and my mom had got me a late Mother's Day gift, and it was this dress. I was like, oh, I should just try this on and make sure it fits with the bump and everything. And I put it on and immediately had this feeling of like playfulness. Like I just wanted to twirl and play just because it was like a baby doll dress. It was just so fun. It was so flowy. And I just had this desire to go into the bathroom and put on my earrings, and I put on some mascara. Do you guys remember when you were young and you would play with makeup with your friends? Not because you felt like it made you more beautiful, not because you felt the lack of wanting to cover up, but because it was like fun to put on sparkles on your eyelids and to play with lip smackers. Do you remember that? That energy that's purely playful, that's what I felt in that moment. And so the dress experiment for me has been more like a cue. It's been more like a playful experiment to connect back to a playful, soft, feminine energy more than anything. And so I came out of the bathroom and my husband was reading to my daughter, and he was like, hold on. What he was responding to in that moment was the energy that was like flowing out of me. This is not the first time that I've seen this kind of play out with us. Actually, I've watched our dynamic in marriage shift so radically the last 2 years. I've mentioned that last year we did couples counseling. And if you've watched any of my videos on motherhood, you know that I've talked about how transitioning to motherhood, kind of like a breaking point for me, but it broke me open. It's what led to this interest in slow living, into slowing down, into simplifying and softening, and a lot of the things that I talk about on my channel now. I don't think that you need to become a mom to experience this, but for me it was my tipping point, because the way that I functioned before was literally not sustainable. When my husband met me, I idolized control. I wanted to control him. I wanted to control everything about my life. The working, the hustling, the grinding, the overproducing. Really hated anything that showed softness about me. That's where we met, and that was how I began the beginning of my marriage. And what's so interesting was on the outside, I was more overtly feminine. I wore a lot more makeup at that time. I did my hair, I had a lot more clothes. And I can remember speaking about intimacy with my husband and using words like, I'm the higher drive spouse, or I initiate more. And so there was this constant conflict of feeling like he didn't pursue me. And yet I also had extremely specific expectations about what him pursuing me should look like. Again, with the control. Our dynamic, it was not this beautiful exchange of him stepping into his God-made, good, healthy masculinity, and me with my God-made, good, beautiful, femininity and the deepness of not roles, not what it looks like on the outside, but the deepness of that energetic interplay. Fast forward to when we had our baby, and that interplay hit like an explosion point. And I remember clearly, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, there was that feeling of feeling like I was doing everything, and yet I didn't want him to do anything because in my head I could do it better. That constant conflict between like, you want your husband to like step up, but step up to what? Because you've pretty much taken that role already. You know what I'm saying? And that was just really the case for me. And it was really hard on us, and it was confusing because a lot of people had said, you know, having kids is hard on your marriage. And I thought that maybe this is just what it is. And I didn't understand that, yes, having kids there are hard things about having kids, for sure. The hard that was happening there was a hard that I was choosing. It was the dynamic we had that was creating a hard that didn't need to be there. That breaking point was beautiful because it started kind of unraveling me and stripping away a lot of those unhealthy dynamics in my own heart. Like it didn't even start with us. It started with me as a woman. It felt like I was taking off all of these falsehoods, all of these like suffocating things so that I could like bloom. And what happened was a softening and a freeing and a slowing down and really feeling like the woman I was becoming was more of the woman God made me to be. And I noticed my husband respond to that. I watched my husband be attracted to me, the woman that I was. And so if there's anything I want to emphasize, it really is an internal transformation I'm trying to talk about that I experienced. Taking off what doesn't serve you, taking off the forcing and the controlling and the bitterness and the hardening. When all of that is off, how you can bloom and how everyone else in your life responds to that in a really beautiful way. Deep talk for a dress experiment, but we're here for it. I think we're gonna go to a local market, pick up some raw milk and some eggs, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Last day of an experiment that had many shocking effects that I did not expect to get so existential. Also, if you hear thunder or see flashes of lightning, it's because there's a massive storm happening right now, right outside. This month, there have been so many things pulling at my attention, and the temptation for allowing my circumstances to dictate my inner world has been at an all-time high. As I've been putting on dresses and as I've been like processing through the difference of feminine energy and masculine energy and the way that God created those two things in beautiful harmony and what it means for me to show up as the nervous system of my home, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, as the experiment went on, I like magically turned into this amazingly gracious, kind, wonderful woman. If anything, what it has done is more just like opened my eyes to seeing myself and my decisions so much more clearly. And because that's exactly what it is. What I would have called what I went through this month, just, oh, it was a stressful season, or, you know, I was dysregulated, it was just a lot. I can now clearly see in real time decisions that I am making to lay down my peace, to stay dysregulated, to have it's almost like have a choice in front of me of, okay, this happened. I can choose to react like this, or I can choose to react like this. Jessica, what do you want to do? Transition is that really uncomfortable place where you are asked to expand. And a lot of times in my life, I dreaded seasons of transitions because I did not want the change and I did not want the expansion. Because expansion often means softening, and it also means surrendering and releasing control. Now what I'm seeing is what an invitation this could be to practice that muscle of taking radical responsibility for how I'm showing up in my everyday life. And to me, that is a characteristic of a woman that I really want to embody, of thinking back even to like being a girl in my childhood and the women that I saw modeled for me. I have stepped out of this with the conviction and also the excitement of realizing a whole other deeper layer of how much I have a choice. I just feel like a renewed sense of responsibility, but in a complete, I feel honored to carry this responsibility kind of way. That's all I have for you. Bet you didn't think it was gonna get this deep, did you? Chat with me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.